I always thought magnesium was like just for dealing with muscle cramps or people who can't sleep.
Mm.
But I was reading some research
Yeah.
and it blew my mind.
What?
Magnesium, it's involved in over 600 processes in our bodies. I
Right.
had no idea.
It's amazing, right? What's really interesting is most people think about magnesium and they think about bones.
Right.
But over 99% of magnesium is actually inside our cells.
Wait, 99%.
Yeah.
So it's not just about like building strong bones.
No, not at all.
Wow.
That huge percentage inside our cells tells us how important magnesium is for everything to work properly at the most basic level. Like think of your cells as tiny little factories that are constantly working to produce energy and make proteins and even copy DNA.
Okay.
Magnesium is basically the workforce that keeps those factories running.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So we've got a scientific review on magnesium's role in the immune system,
Okay.
cancer, infections, and inflammation.
Lots to cover.
Plus, we'll be looking at an article focused on the digestive benefits of magnesium malate.
Interesting.
And then wrapping things up with an overview of magnesium malate as a supplement.
Sounds good.
I think this is going to change how we view this, like, humble mineral.
Definitely. Let's start with the immune system. The research shows that magnesium is key for both our innate immune response,
Okay.
which is our body's first line of defense,
Right.
and the adaptive response, which is how our body learns to fight specific threats over time.
So it's like magnesium is involved in both the immediate fight and building up a defense force for the future.
Exactly.
Okay.
And a big part of that defense force is our T cells.
Hmm.
These are specialized white blood cells that attack infected cells
Got it.
and even cancer cells.
Right.
What researchers have found is that magnesium is absolutely critical for T cells to function properly.
So this is where I need a little ELI5.
Okay.
How exactly does magnesium help T cells do their job?
And think of it this way. T cells need to be able to latch onto harmful cells to destroy them, right? There's a specific protein on T cells called LFA1 that acts like a grappling hook. Magnesium is essentially what allows that hook to grab hold and do its job.
Interesting.
Without enough magnesium, those T cells might not be as effective at eliminating threats.
So if you're low on magnesium, your body might be struggling to mount a strong defense against infections.
It's a possibility. And that brings us to another important area,
Yeah.
inflammation.
Right. The review article mentions a link between magnesium deficiency and chronic inflammation.
Yes,
Isn't inflammation a natural part of the healing process, though?
it is. But when inflammation becomes chronic, it can actually harm the body.
Oh.
It's like a fire alarm that keeps going off,
Oh, okay.
even after the fire is out.
I see.
That constant state of alert can damage tissues and contribute to a whole host of problems,
Yeah.
like heart disease, diabetes, even cancer. What we see with magnesium deficiency is that certain inflammatory markers like IL-1 and TNF tend to increase.
Okay, I've heard those terms before,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure I fully understand what they mean.
So cytokines like IL-1 and TNF are signaling molecules that trigger and regulate inflammation. Think of them like messengers that alert the body to danger and call in the troops.
Got it.
When these markers are elevated, it suggests that there's more inflammation going on.
Okay.
And as we've seen, magnesium plays a role in keeping that inflammation in check.
Some of those aches and pains we just brush off as we get older could actually be related to how much magnesium we're getting.
It's possible,
That's something to think about.
definitely. And it doesn't stop there.
Oh.
Magnesium acts as a powerful antioxidant in the body,
Mm.
protecting ourselves from damage caused by free radicals.
So it's like magnesium is multitasking,
Yeah,
fighting inflammation and oxidative stress at the same time.
exactly. And for those interested in cellular health, magnesium also plays a role in keeping our mitochondria functioning properly.
Mitochondria. Remind me, what are those again?
Those are the powerhouses of our cells responsible for generating energy.
Right.
Magnesium helps ensure those powerhouses are running efficiently.
Okay, so it's incredible how one mineral can have such a far-reaching impact.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into the cellular weeds, though,
Oh,
let's shift gears and talk about cancer.
okay.
The review article mentions magnesium potentially having protective effects.
Right. Some studies, particularly in animals, have shown promising results.
Okay.
For example, magnesium has been shown to inhibit the development of lung cancer in some cases, and even slow tumor growth.
Wow.
But it's important to remember that these findings are still preliminary.
So more research is needed, but the possibility is definitely exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when we consider the connection between magnesium deficiency, chronic inflammation
Right.
and how that can contribute to the development of cancer.
So inflammation could be a key piece of the puzzle.
It seems so.
Hmm.
Reducing chronic inflammation through adequate magnesium intake could potentially create a less favorable environment for cancer to take hold.
Hmm.
But again, we need more research to confirm this.
Got it. I'm starting to see magnesium in a whole new light.
Yeah,
It's way more than just a remedy for leg cramps.
definitely.
Now let's talk about digestion. One of the articles we have dives into the benefits of magnesium malate.
Okay, so magnesium, especially in the form of magnesium malate, can offer relief for common digestive issues like constipation.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Oh.
I've definitely experienced my fair share of struggles with constipation.
Yeah?
And I know I'm not alone.
You're not alone at all. So magnesium acts as an osmotic laxative.
Mm.
In simpler terms, it draws water into the intestines, softening the stool and making it easier to pass.
Okay.
It's like a gentle nudge for your digestive system.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I've actually used magnesium for constipation before,
Oh, really?
and it was a game changer. I had no idea it was actually pulling water into my intestines, though.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
It's fascinating how it works.
Yeah. And another interesting aspect of magnesium malate is that the malate part,
Okay.
which is malic acid, is found naturally in fruits and may help with muscle recovery.
Ooh, that's interesting, especially for those who are active and into fitness.
Exactly. It can be an added bonus for those dealing with muscle soreness after workouts.
So constipation relief and potential muscle recovery benefits. What's not to love about magnesium malate?
Well, it's important to remember that while magnesium is found naturally in many foods, some people might need to consider supplementation.
Right, especially if they're not getting enough through their diet alone.
Exactly.
The article we have about magnesium malate as a supplement mentions potential benefits for mood, blood sugar control, and even exercise performance.
It's pretty versatile.
It seems like it could be beneficial for a lot of people.
Definitely, magnesium malate has certainly gained attention for these potential benefits. However, it's important to remember that everyone's needs are different.
Of course.
Consulting a healthcare provider for personalized advice regarding dosage is always a good idea.
Absolutely. Personalized recommendations are key.
Yeah,
This is also fascinating.
it is.
Are you starting to see magnesium in a whole new light, too? It's not just about preventing leg cramps anymore.
Oh, definitely. I had no idea how diverse its roles were in the body.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
We've explored magnesium's vital role in immunity, its potential in fighting inflammation and oxidative stress, and even its possible benefits in cancer prevention.
So much to learn.
Plus, we've delved into how magnesium malate can help with digestion
Right.
and potentially offer a range of other perks.
It's a fascinating compound,
It really is.
and we're just getting started.
Oh, really?
There's so much more to uncover about magnesium and its impact on our health.
Okay, well, stay tuned, everyone.
Yes.
Because we'll be back with part 2 of our deep dive into magnesium.
Can't wait.
We'll dig deeper into those sources and uncover even more about this incredible mineral.
Absolutely.
Still reeling from all the amazing things we learned about magnesium last time.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
It's incredible how much one mineral can impact our health in so many different ways.
We covered magnesium's role in immunity inflammation, oxidative stress,
Right.
even its potential connection to preventing cancer.
It's really remarkable.
It's like magnesium is the ultimate multitasker just working behind the scenes.
Uh-huh. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. And it's what makes this deep dive so interesting. We're uncovering layers of complexity that most people don't know about.
Okay, so where do we go from here? We have all this awesome research. I'm ready to keep learning. What else can we uncover about magnesium?
Well, let's go back to that scientific review on magnesium's role in the immune system.
Okay.
We talked about how important magnesium is for T cell function, but there's another crucial aspect we need to explore.
Okay.
The impact of magnesium deficiency on the immune system as a whole.
So it's not just about T cells.
No, it goes much deeper than that. Remember, magnesium is involved in over 600 biological processes.
Right.
Many of those directly or indirectly affect how well our immune system works.
Okay. Give me an example.
Sure. Consider immunoglobulin production.
Okay.
Immunoglobulins are antibodies, those proteins that identify and neutralize things like bacteria and viruses.
I see.
Magnesium is essential for making those antibodies.
So without enough magnesium, our ability to produce antibodies could be compromised.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. Magnesium is also vital for the synthesis and distribution of vitamin D, which we know plays a huge role in immune response, particularly against viral pathogens.
Wait, vitamin D needs magnesium to work properly? I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a connection a lot of people miss, but it just highlights how interconnected all these systems really are. A deficiency in one area can have cascading effects on the whole body.
That makes sense.
So if you're looking to boost your immune system against things like colds and flu, magnesium and vitamin D are an amazing pair to focus on.
That's a great takeaway. It seems like magnesium is the glue that holds everything together.
I like that analogy. And if we zoom in even further to the cellular level, we find magnesium transporters, like MAGT1, which regulate the movement of magnesium within immune cells.
MAGT1? That sounds complicated.
It is a bit technical. But essentially, MAGT1 is like a traffic controller,
Okay.
making sure magnesium is in the right place at the right time within immune cells so they can function optimally.
So magnesium isn't just floating around aimlessly.
No, it's carefully orchestrated.
Wow.
There's an incredible precision to how magnesium operates within our bodies. And when those systems are disrupted because of a deficiency, it can lead to a lot of problems.
Like what? What kinds of problems can come up from magnesium deficiency?
Well, the review article mentions a number of serious consequences.
Mm-hmm.
For example, magnesium deficiency has been linked to a higher risk of viral infections.
That makes sense given what we just learned about T cells and antibody production being compromised.
Right, and remember when we talked about inflammation? Chronic magnesium deficiency creates a pro-inflammatory state, making the body more susceptible to a wide range of diseases.
The article mentions specific markers like IL-1 and TNF.
Yeah.
What are those again?
Those are inflammatory cytokines, which are basically signaling molecules that trigger inflammation. Think of them as messengers that alert the body to danger and activate the immune response.
Right.
When magnesium is low, these markers are often elevated, which means there's more inflammation happening.
This is all painting a pretty clear picture. Magnesium is absolutely essential for a healthy, strong immune system.
Couldn't agree more.
But what about cancer? What else does this review say about that connection?
The review highlights a number of studies that were done on animals, and those studies suggest that magnesium might have protective effects against certain cancers.
We briefly touched on those studies earlier.
Yeah.
Things like inhibiting lung cancer development and slowing tumor growth.
Exactly. But it's super important to remember that those studies were done on animals. We need more research to determine if those same results will hold true in humans.
Fair enough. But the possibility is still pretty exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
And what about research in humans? Does this review mention any studies on magnesium and cancer in people?
It does. Actually, some studies have shown a possible association between getting more magnesium and a reduced risk of certain cancers. For example, there's some evidence suggesting that a high magnesium content in drinking water could protect against liver and esophageal cancers.
Wow, so the water we drink could be influencing our cancer risk.
It's something that researchers are looking into, and there's more. A recent meta-analysis, which is basically when you combine data from multiple studies, indicated that there's a connection between higher dietary magnesium intake and a lower overall cancer mortality.
Okay, I'm definitely interested. Tell me more about that meta-analysis.
Okay, so it combined data from a bunch of different prospective cohort studies and found that for every 100 milligram day increase in magnesium, they saw a 5% reduction in deaths from cancer.
That's a pretty significant decrease.
It is, but again, we need more research to really solidify these findings and understand how everything works.
Makes sense. It sounds like we're really just starting to understand the connection between magnesium and cancer.
Exactly. But even with what we know now, the evidence suggests magnesium plays a crucial role in both preventing and potentially treating cancer.
Right.
It's definitely an area that needs more research.
This brings us back to our main point. Magnesium is way more important than most people realize.
Absolutely.
It's not just about leg cramps and sleep. It's about supporting every aspect of our health.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So how do we make sure we're getting enough magnesium? We've mentioned supplements, but what about food? What are some good sources of magnesium?
That's a great question, and one we'll explore more in the next part of our deep dive. We're going to talk about the best food sources of magnesium and discuss some strategies for getting enough through your diet.
Awesome. Stay tuned, everyone, for the final part of our magnesium adventure. Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, I'm kind of sad that this is our last part on magnesium. Who knew that a single mineral could be this interesting?
Yeah, it has been a really fun journey, hasn't it? We've learned so much about this nutrient that most people just don't think about.
Totally. It's like magnesium is the unsung hero of our bodies. Just quietly working in the background, keeping everything running the way it should.
I love that description. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, we need to make sure our listeners have some actionable steps they can take.
Oh, we've talked about supplements, but I'm really curious about magnesium-rich foods.
Okay.
Where can we find magnesium naturally?
So that is a really important question. And while supplements can definitely be helpful, the foundation really should be a balanced diet with plenty of magnesium-rich foods.
So what are the best sources, the superstars of the magnesium world? What should we be eating a lot of?
Well, the good news is that magnesium is found in a ton of different foods. Leafy green vegetables like spinach
Okay.
and Swiss chard are fantastic sources.
Okay.
Also things like pumpkin seeds, almonds, and cashews.
Got it.
Those are packed with magnesium too.
Okay, so salad smoothies, trail mix.
Exactly.
Sounds like we're on the right track.
You're getting it. You can also get magnesium from beans and lentils. Black beans and lentils in particular.
Okay.
And this one might surprise you, but dark chocolate actually has a good amount of magnesium in it.
Oh, now you're speaking my language. So really, it's all about eating lots of different whole foods.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that processing foods can actually strip away a lot of their magnesium content. So choosing things like brown rice or quinoa instead of white rice is a good idea.
Makes sense. So whole foods whenever possible.
Yeah.
But what about people who just can't seem to get enough magnesium even when they're eating a healthy diet? Are there any tips for making sure our bodies are absorbing the magnesium we're eating?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that can make it harder for your body to absorb magnesium is eating too much phytic acid,
Okay.
which is found in grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds.
Fatty acid.
Yeah, it's basically a compound that can bind to minerals like magnesium and prevent our bodies from absorbing them as well. But here's the good news. Soaking or sprouting those foods can reduce the phytic acid content and improve magnesium absorption.
So soaking and sprouting those foods before you eat them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It might sound a little strange, but it's really simple and it's effective. And it's not just about phytic acid either. Making sure you're getting enough vitamin D can also help your body absorb more magnesium.
Oh, there's that vitamin D connection again. It seems like everything is connected when it comes to health.
It really is. And here's another interesting thing. Stress can actually deplete magnesium levels.
Wait, really? Stress?
Yep. When you're stressed out, your body tends to get rid of more magnesium. So managing stress by doing things like meditation or yoga can help you maintain healthy magnesium levels.
I would have never guessed that. This just shows how holistic our health really is. It's not just about what we eat, but also how we live our lives.
I completely agree. It's about understanding all the different factors that influence our well-being and how everything works together.
Well, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of magnesium, even after 3 parts.
There's always more to learn, right? But I think we've given our listeners a great foundation.
Definitely. We've talked about how important magnesium is for our immune system,
Right.
how it can fight inflammation and oxidative stress, and even its potential role in preventing cancer. We also talked about magnesium malate and how it can improve digestion and maybe offer a bunch of other benefits.
That's a fascinating mineral.
And we dug into some of the science behind how magnesium works inside our cells without getting too technical.
Yeah.
And of course, we talked about the best foods to eat to get more magnesium and even how to make sure your body absorbs it properly.
This has been a really amazing deep dive.
It has.
And I hope our listeners feel ready to take what they've learned and put it into practice.
I think they are. I know I'm walking away with a whole new understanding of magnesium and a bunch of new ideas for how to get more of it. I'm definitely going to be adding more leafy greens to my smoothies.
Great idea.
And maybe I'll even try this whole sprouting thing.
Haha. Awesome. Well, remember, knowledge is power, and now you have the power to make informed choices about your health.
So well said. And on that note, it's time to wrap up our magnesium adventure. Thank you so much to our expert for sharing all your amazing knowledge with us.
Of course, anytime. I always love talking about this stuff.
And to all of our listeners out there, thank you so much for joining us. We encourage you to check out the sources we used and keep exploring the world of magnesium on your own.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay well.